All right, let's get this party started here. There he is. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Appreciate the resent invite.
I think I sent the invite from the wrong page. What's going on? There they are. All right, so a little bit of a clumsy start. Got a feeling that was pretty much my fault. But welcome to episode 8, Heart of the Order, alongside Chris Sack and Mr. 305, Lou Dominguez. We're here for some more playoff baseball. If you can't tell, I am on the edge of my seat. I know our group text got a little off the rails about a half an hour ago, and I was calling out idiot Yankee people for trying to be Booger McFarland about crap. Stating the obvious, Boone's got to have a quick hook tonight. Like, no shit. Like, it's way more going. Like, or in Yankees case, win or stay home. You know, whatever way you want to look at it. But I mean, how obnoxious? I mean, how much more obvious do you have to be? Anyways, fellas, how the hell are you doing tonight?
Doing all right. And you mentioned Booger McFarland saying a week went out. He said,
You're choppy, my man.
Somebody's got a lot of background noise.
I probably had background noise from the kids, but
I think that's what I think.
I don't think that's going to chop Lou up, though. It should, if anything, it should chop one of us, probably me up.
That's true. Lou, go ahead. What were you saying? Let's try this again.
No, just Booger McFarland, master of the obvious. He had said something about Tyreek Hill going out, probably not be able to return this season. That usually means it's a season-ending injury. He probably won't be back here. He's awful announcing at his best.
It was like, what gave it away, Booger? Thanks, Booger. All right, we'll take it from here.
Was his knee looking like a pretzel, a dead giveaway, or not? I mean,
dude, I swear to God, my wife was Booger McFarland the other day. She's like, I think he's out for the season. I'm like, he tore his ACL. Yeah, but they're saying that he might be out. No, he is out. He tore his ACL. I was like, he dislocated his kneecap. I was like, he's not coming back.
No. Like, it's on the table. He might not come back. Like, period. Right? Like, his superpower is speed.
Right.
What is that going to look like for what has he been in like 10 years now?
Yeah, at 32 years old. It doesn't look good. I mean, and Drew Rosenhaus, master of the spin, tried to say, I hope you're ready for next year, opening day, but I don't buy that one bit. So.
You want to know why he said that? Because he expects that the Dolphins are probably going to get out of his contract and that he's going to be able to sign another contract someplace else. That's what Drew Rosenhaus is paid to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he's paid to be, Booger McFarland-ish.
Right.
So what have we had happen so far? So, it's come to a surprise to nobody. The Cincinnati Reds got absolutely mauled by the Dodgers. It was nice to see them strike first blood last night, but that lasted for about as long as a fart in the wind. And even that, they needed it aided by a Teoscar Hernandez horrible play, right? Like, so, they needed to win. I think all three of us agreed, in order for the Reds to have a shot there, they had to get game one. Hunter Green on the mound. They had to get that game, and he went out and, of course, serves up the long ball right from the get-go to Ohtani, and the route was on pretty much from there. They get doubled up in both games, 10-5 and 8-4. That was a wreck. But I think the thing right now where all three of us were stumped was we looked at the Yankees-Red Sox as the one that had the best opportunity to go to a third game. And lo and behold, 3 of the 4 series went to a game 3. Cleveland, of course, the factory of sadness will show up sooner or later. And so they're sent packing by Detroit. Got to wonder if that gets Detroit back and rolling like how they were maybe a little bit earlier in the year. And then now you got the Cubs still on top of the Padres here halfway through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that. I think I want to say I'm surprised because I don't remember the previous Wildcard series over the last 3. I don't think there was any more than one series out of the 4 that would go 3. So the fact that 3 went 3, that to me was the biggest surprise. Again, these series are tightly contested. I mean, there's not much that separates the Cubs from the Padres. There's not much that separates, the Tigers or Cleveland. I mean, if Detroit didn't completely fall apart, maybe Cleveland doesn't even get in to begin with. I mean, they got hot over the last month, and listen, Detroit did what they had to do. They had great pitching. They really rose to the challenge, especially their starting pitching. But I don't think this lasts longer than a trip to Seattle. I mean, they're going to get their postseason game or two in Detroit, but Seattle's a wagon, man. If I look out there in the American League, that to me is the team to beat out of anybody that's left.
I 100% agree. I think the Mariners are the team to beat. And, if the Yankees aren't going to go, that's the horse I would get behind. It's hard to not root for Dumper, a switch hitting catcher with 60 dingers, dude. I mean, it's just a great story, right? That would be the team I would get. But obviously, I can't get behind the Boston by any stretch of the imagination. But if it's not going to be New York, go ahead and let Seattle get in there. And certainly, I'm not going to root for fucking Toronto.
And then AJ Hinch is the manager for Detroit, so he can go F off for for the trash can banging that he allowed in Houston.
Yeah, now he can go bang a trash can, literally. Bye.
Right. And listen, I'll echo the statements there that you guys meant. We'll get to our predictions later on, but how it's hard to overlook Seattle. But I will say this, man, Detroit had that big lead. Cleveland comes all the way back, and then they give it up, and the Tigers, after being left for dead, just crawling their way into the playoffs, having to go on the road to Cleveland, they somehow pulled it through, and they're on to the next round. So give them credit. And yes, AJ Hinch, we're not going to root for him, but give the man credit for, it would have been very easy to say, man, we gave this whole thing away. We could have had a first round bye, and now we're fighting on the road. So they righted that ship and won big game 3 today.
I want to know what the hell happened to Cleveland as a baseball town. I mean,
the factory of sadness.
It's unbelievable what that place used to be. I mean, the fact is, the Phillies. Now, listen, I know the prices are completely different, but the Phillies had an intra-squad workout at Citizens Bank Park last night. And they sold 31,000 seats in a 45,000 capacity stadium. They would have probably sold the whole stadium out if they opened up the whole entire stadium.
They absolutely would have.
And the tickets were $10. So I'm not going to sit here and act like this or that. But the fact that game 1 in Cleveland at 1:00, I mean, shit, I'll take anything. Like whatever. If you love baseball, you'll take whatever the hell you can get. The fact that they only had 26,000 people in that stadium is an absolute atrocity of what used to be a great baseball city and a great baseball stadium, that they've had to make the adjustments that they've had to make to that stadium over the years. The Jake used to be the place to be. Yeah. That and Camden Yards used to be the ballparks that people were, it was destination for them to go to. And the simple fact, I don't know, is it the name change? Is it the fact that nobody can get behind the Guardians or anything? But
both of those things.
Ridiculous.
Both of those things. I think the name change, if you go to Cleveland, so I was there the last weekend of, I forget what season it was. 2021 was the last year that they were still the Indians. And then they changed. The people that were at that stadium, of course, everyone's trying to buy all the cheap Wahoo stuff they can get their hands on, myself included. But the people were pissed. I mean, furious over that name change. You're real Cleveland fans. The people that used to pack the Jake every night, however many 100 games in a row they were sold out when they first opened that place. Those people were absolutely furious with this name change. It's always been the Tribe. It's been Chief Wahoo. They were pissed. The name change from Jacobs Field to Progressive Field, I think, pissed a lot of people off, because we still call it the Jake, and I'll always call it the Jake. I think you guys are probably the same way. The people up there could not stand it. They had to watch all that stuff come down. Progressive Field put up out in the outfield.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
I think it annoyed the shit out of people. And then the 1:00 thing, look, I can tell you, when I was in high school, we would just skip and go to the ball game. We didn't give a shit, right? Go ahead, suspend me. Fuck off, I'm going. Right? We didn't care. I don't know that it's not so much a little bit of like the economic time that we're in right now where people are broke and they really can't just, I'm going to miss work to go do this. That may play a role. Cleveland's a very blue collar town, not so much of your, upper, a lot of blue, middle class, blue collar, hourly type of folks. Maybe that's got something to do with it. But I agree with you, Chris. I think it's a damn shame because whether it's called the Jake or Progressive Field, it's still a beautiful ballpark.
It's an absolute beautiful ballpark. I was actually there twice. Up there back in 2005 when.
Why does it say add 101?
And look, the fact got up on the goalpost. The and yeah, when we went,
Lou, you might want to check out your connection, brother.
Yeah, you're a little spotty, bro. Folks in the room, Lou, Mancini, David Loeb, if you're still in there, can you tell us if you're having trouble hearing any particular one of us? I do notice there's a whole bunch of background noise when Lou starts to get choppy, but I don't know why. Chris, if anything, I think that would knock you out, not Lou. I don't understand what the hell's going on there. Are you guys hearing me all right?
I hear you fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you fine. Lou.
Yeah, I hear you guys fine too.
I hear you fine now.
You sound good now.
We're off to a flying start here, folks. Maybe we should stop making fun of Booger McFarland.
I want to hear him talk about the Jake again. Yeah, like that's
what I was saying is that I was there in 2005. Went back in 2023, 2 years ago, and you guys forgot to mention the guy who banged the drum in center field. That was a time-tailed tradition. And when we were there 2 years ago, they actually made an announcement that you would not be allowed to come in with Chief Wahoo stuff, and that peed off a lot of people, and rightfully so. So you got this tradition. You try to fake it with the last name Guardians and Indians, trying to connect. Oh, we're not that much different, but come on, it's a whole identity going back to the 1800s. And
they were trying to use they've got those like gargoyles or whatever they are up all over the city, and they're called the Guardians of the City, and that's what they were trying to make the name change with. I think it's freaking lame. Here's what I don't get. Like, obviously, it's the whole woke culture, right, that forces this change. So the Indians were bad, right? We weren't allowed to have that. But the Chiefs are okay. The Redskins are bad, but the Braves are okay. You can still have the Florida State Seminoles.
correct.
None of this makes any sense to me. Can we just get over it? Like, enough already. Come on. This is time-honored tradition. Let it be. It's not bothering anybody.
The only thing that I heard about with the Indians was that people had an issue with Chief Wahoo and because of the logo. And I get sick and tired of it. If you have Disney Plus and you watch what is it, Peter Pan, it apologizes for like a 15-second apologize when you go to watch Peter Pan about how it portrays Native Americans. And then if you watch Aladdin, it apologizes for 15 seconds of how it portrays. Yes, absolutely, 100%.
So my kids are more grown now. I don't see the younger kid movies anymore. Are you shitting me?
I am not shitting you at all. It is a 15-second apology about how it portrays Arabian people and how it portrays Native Americans. And this is not how. I'm dead ass serious. It sucks. It's creative license, if anything, with these movies, right? I mean, that's what you are portrayed, the way they portray Italians. I mean, come on, mobsters, gangsters. You hear any of them? No, they relish in it. They love it.
Right.
You know why? Because they're getting screen time. People are talking about their heritage and what they are. Listen, Chief Wahoo.
All it does is make me want to eat pizza and smoke a bunch of cigarettes.
Absolutely. Not a problem. I don't understand it. If you wanted to get rid of, and they did this, they started to get rid of the Chief Wahoo stuff. Me and my wife went there. We did a 3 ballpark road trip on 4th of July weekend in 2013. We drove the 8 hours to Detroit. We saw Detroit play at Comerica on the 4th of July. We drove the 2 hours to Cleveland. We saw Cleveland play the next day. And then we drove the 2 hours to Pittsburgh, and we saw the Pirates and Phillies play on a Sunday. Great road trip for 3 days. We had a blast. But when we went there, they already were starting to get rid of the Chief Wahoo stuff. So we bought our shot glass was Chief Wahoo.
Yes.
But when we went back in 2018, everything was a C because we went there for Brian Dawkins' induction to the Hall of Fame. And it was they started to do the Red Sea. Okay, you want to do that? You want to get rid of the Chief Wahoo logo? Whatever. That's okay. But the name, not one person ever complained about the Cleveland Indians name. Ever.
And the people up there they will chant that shit. Indians forever, Guardians never. That's the phrase that they will all yell at this shit. They hate it. All of them. They all hate it. We waited in line for 40 minutes at the gift shop just to get our stamps in our passports that day. Because there were so many people trying to get in there and just grab whatever they could that had Wahoo or said Indians or something tribe, whatever the case may be. We were there. It was just me and the boys, and we were there for a long while. And but Cleveland itself, a little bit of underrated city for if you've been there, spent a little time. I know Lou, you and Ash spent some time up there, but we went up that day. And my in-laws are from just outside of. They're from like Painesville and Mentor, which is like a half an hour, 40 minutes east of Cleveland. But we were there we just went up for one day, and we went to the Christmas Story House, which I thought was going to be.
We did that too.
I thought it was going to be really lame, and it was fucking awesome.
Very cool.
Awesome. And then we went to the Rock Hall, right? And then we went to the ball game, right? I'm there with 2 kids, at the time. This is 4 years ago? So Grady was 14. Liam was 11. It was perfect. But yeah, all of them up there. Indians forever, Guardians never.
Yeah.
That's all over the ballpark that night.
Yeah, and a fantastic ballpark. It's a beautiful ballpark. Look, they actually helped, even though we talked about this in the group text earlier. It's kind of ridiculous that at 12:30 at night after that Dodgers game goes final, they change all the times around, right? But it would actually help the Guardians, if you think, because they moved them up from 1 to 3. So it's easier to get out of work a couple hours earlier. So I'm with you, Chris. There's no excuse for 26,000 people to be there in a do or die game 3. Just it's unexplainable.
I didn't see I didn't see what the attendance numbers were for game 2 or game 3. I just know what people were talking about for game 1 was 26,000.
Even game 1, especially in a 3-game series.
I know.
Game 1, my God. Dude, in a 3-game set, that's like immediately somebody's facing elimination the next night. Immediately. And you can't pack the house.
And I always like the intros. To me, if I can do a game 1 and it makes sense, I had an opportunity to the DS, I had game 5, as part of my the plan that they gave me for the postseason. But they sent me an email and I was able to buy a pair of tickets for game 2. But the only reason why I didn't get game 1 was because just in case game 5 happens, I didn't want to have back-to-back Saturdays where I'm dealing with, Carson's baseball team all day. And then I wanted to have the opportunity to where, all right, if I have to miss something, I can miss next Saturday. I'm not missing back-to-back Saturdays. So I took game 2, but I'm going to miss Ohtani and Christopher Sanchez. But I love the pageantry of it. The introduction of the lineups and the rosters and, Sox, all that stuff is great. It's awesome. I'm going to miss it. But shit, that might have been that wound up being the only postseason series in Cleveland this year. And they're not going to have that opportunity to sit there and cheer their boys of summer anymore.
Well, for a team that really didn't look like they were going to have a snowball's chance in hell.
Right.
Detroit was trying. American League overall for the first half of the year, Detroit was trying to run away and hide, man.
Yeah.
They were so far out in front. And to be the Thursday before the end of the season, and it was on the table that they were going to fall all the way out, that was insane. The 3 of us picking Cleveland, it just felt. You know what Detroit felt like coming into that series? It felt like the Houston Texans going into the playoffs last year. They were just begging to get bounced, right? And of course, the Texans run into the Chargers and Justin Herbert in a big spot can't do a fucking thing except throw interceptions. But, it felt like that kind of thing. You're just begging to get bounced. And, Tarek Skubal comes in, pitches a freaking gem game one. They drop it yesterday, but it was late when Cleveland scored those runs.
Yeah.
And then, of course, today, Cleveland, like I said, the factory is sadness sooner or later.
Incredible. Yeah, 1948, last time they won it all. Of course, 2, Game 7 losses to the Braves and the Marlins. So, I mean, yeah. And, of course, the Browns have never won anything. So, yeah, it's a tough
Not in the Super Bowl era.
No, right.
Well, they had the Game 7 losses against the Marlins in '97 and in 2016 against the Cubs.
Yes.
I think the Braves in '95 was 6.
Yeah, sorry. 6-game series. You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
But still, they lost to the Braves. They were the best team in baseball in '95. Like they like if you think about the '90s, I mean, like that's peak baseball watching for the three of us. The Braves got theirs, the Yankees had theirs, the Blue Jays won a couple. Like the teams of the '90s, right? The teams of the '90s, except Cleveland. It's just they're the one.
And they may have been the most talented group, the most talented team of the whole bunch.
Dude, their lineup was
just
insane.
Could not get over the hump, dude.
Yeah, Ramirez, Vizquel, Tommy,
Alomar, both Alomars.
Yeah, and he lost.
Yeah,
Justice.
Attendance game one in Cleveland was 26,186. That is nuts, dude. I'm gonna check.
What's capacity?
I don't know what the capacity of the
Cubs just went up 3-0.
Yeah.
Yep. Home run, Michael Bush. Does anybody else get annoyed the fact that they have to show launch angle and exit velocity on every fucking home run?
It annoys.
Like, can you do it when it's something like extra impressive, like when Giancarlo Stanton gets into one, and that thing was 119 miles an hour and went 470 feet. God, that's impressive.
The capacity at Progressive Field is 34,830.
Really?
Yes.
26,669 in game 2 and game 3.
Which is almost less than 25%. Right? I mean, like 834, it's an 8,000 person difference. I mean, that's crazy.
Game 3 today was 29,891. So in a do or die, they didn't quite get to 30,000 of a 34,000 seat place
for 3 o'clock start.
3 o'clock start. That's that would never happen in Philadelphia. That would never happen in New York. I don't even think that would happen in Miami. I don't think, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't.
At 3 a.m. At 3 a.m. we would sell that ballpark out. I mean,
yes, you would. Philadelphia is just different, dude. Philadelphia is just different. Like, New York's not going to do that. 3 o'clock in the morning, like, fuck you. Like, we'll see you tomorrow.
Dude, we used to have a thing here in Philadelphia. You guys have heard of it. Wing Bowl. We used to have it for years. We had 25 years of Wing Bowl. We would wake up. I went to about 10 of them. I mean, and it was the morning radio show. So they would open up it started out like a hotel, lobby. And then it the last 15 years of it, 15 plus years of it, it was the Wells Fargo Center. And it was just, you would wake up in the morning, you would get there. Like, we would wake up at 3:30, 4 o'clock, and we would head over and we would have, we bundled up because it's friggin' the Friday before the Super Bowl. It's frigid cold outside here in Philadelphia. Cold. I mean, we're drinking beers, we're taking shots of Fireball, Jameson, whatever we have in the parking lot. We go inside and it's 20,000 people watching 25, 30 slobs eating wings. All these strippers from the whole city are there. And then when you're done, you go to the strip club afterward for kegs, legs, and eggs. But that's Philadelphia. If you don't think that we're waking up that early for a playoff game, you're frigging nuts.
Well, look at, what was it, just a couple of years ago? Birds are in the playoffs and something with the parking lots, right? So I think you had the was it Birds playoffs or Birds? I forget. It was the Eagles and some. It was either Phillies playoffs, Birds regular season, or Birds playoffs and Sixers regular, something like that. Well, so the lots weren't going to open until 4 hours or whatever before the game. So there was a lacrosse game, I think, being played it must have been the Phillies.
Yeah, we normally have the lacrosse. The lacrosse Final Four is normally at the link.
So these animals went and bought tickets to the lacrosse thing so they could get in the goddamn parking lots and start tailgating like 12 hours beforehand. But that's Philadelphia, dude. That's just what that is. Chris and I, before you hopped on last week, Lou, we were kind of talking about it. It's like, dude, it's a different breed.
Yeah.
And you can hear it in that ballpark, man. It's, what I compared it to was the way old Yankee Stadium used to sound. That level of volume, that's what you find at Citizens Bank right now. It's become, that's the modern era of that, in my opinion, anyways. It is so loud in there, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And Chris, what's the one that they do on St. Patty's Day? The Friday before St. Patty's Day? What's that? Midnight or the Marauders or what's it called?
Oh, no. You're thinking New Year's Day. It's the Mummers.
The Mummers Parade.
The Mummers
Parade. Yeah, those are a different breed of people too. Way outside the general landscape of Philadelphia. They are definitely they're a different breed.
That's the Kelsey outfit from the first Super Bowl.
Yeah,
when he's up there. He's got no voice. He's trashed. It was fabulous.
I mean, that's what the Mummers are. It's just, dude, like New Year's Day. Like, that's just, they go out, they play the music. My dad used to play in the Mummers years ago because my poppy played the banjo and my dad played the accordion.
Nice.
Yeah, so he used to play, and like my dad still I was born January 2nd. So my mom was starting to have like contractions while my dad was watching the Mummers on New Year's Day. And she's like, I think I need to go to the hospital. And my dad's like, we can wait. He's like, he's trying to watch the Mummers.
Did your water break yet? No?
Yeah.
Sit down. You're fine.
The ongoing joke in the family is he's still upset with me because I wasn't born in the year 1985 and he could claim me on this tax return. So my parents' wedding anniversary is April 2nd. So 9 months later is my birthday. My brother's birthday is December 29th, 1989. So the ongoing joke is Kevin is more of a favorite than I am with the family because my dad could claim him in the 1989 tax bracket instead of having to wait to 1990. Like I was the asshole that waited 2 extra days to come.
There is something to be said for that little tax credits, dude. If you have them, so Lou, take some pointers here. If you have them late in the year,
there you go.
You don't have to pay for all that stuff all year long, and you still get to get them on your taxes once you go file the following year. $2,000 a piece, buddy.
Noted.
Plus, you're not going to be traveling as much.
You'll
You'll be saving a lot more money because of that. But the Cubbies just score again?
No, Horner tried to come home from third on a grounded to first.
Yeah, he's out.
And they hosed him. Yeah, that was close though.
It was
a nice throw.
Not surprised the Padres' offense isn't showing up again.
Yeah, really. Talk about flatline, dude. They've not hit worth a shit in this series at all.
They haven't hit worth a shit in their last what was it? They were up 2-1 on the Dodgers, and I think they got shut out their last 2 games in that series, in games 4 and games 5 of the DS last year, and they barely hit a lick here in Chicago. You know, the California boys trying to play in good old cold Wrigley Field. I guess it wasn't going to work out for them. So they got 6 more outs to go.
Yeah.
And it's not an insurmountable thing here. It's 3 runs, right?
We're not
talking about a huge deficit here, but
they don't hit home runs. It's kind of like Alex Cora was saying after last night's game. It's hard to get 3 hits in a row. It's hard, you know. I mean, like really, the Red Sox blew that game last night when they didn't get the bunt down, and I think it was stupid. I think it's stupid to begin with. There's nobody out. Like, what? Yeah. Why are you trying to get a bunt down? He's been one of their more clutch hitters this year. A lefty against a righty. The fact that you're not taking swings up there, to me, that was that right there. And can I say this real quick? I don't know how you feel about it, Adam. I know you're an old school guy, you know, just like Lou and I am. Like that's how we are with baseball. Cruz acting like a complete tool bag when he gives up a 400-foot put out. Did anybody else notice that, or was it just me sitting there going, "This guy looks like a fucking asshat"?
I'm gonna fall back on maybe he was just pumped up out of relief that fucking thing, that it's not summertime and that thing didn't go over the wall. Because I tell you, a month ago, that thing's about 420 feet into the net
Oh
out
my
there.
God, man! Like right on the footing of the warning track. It's like you see 408, and it's like, dude, that's like a 400-foot, shot by Story, and this guy's like celebrating like he struck him out.
Well, I mean, I think some of it was the relief, but I mean, he did get, the bunt was big, right?
Yeah.
Then he gets the second out. He does get the third out, but I mean, that guy hits a rocket to the deepest part of the ballpark. I mean, I don't mind you being pumped up, but yeah, that was egregious, dude. Like that was, you want to smack your glove and be like, let's go, and get your ass back in it. Cool. But the comes flying off. He's jumping up and down. Bro, you did not just win the World Series. Right? You got 3 friggin' outs, one of them by the skin of your teeth, on October 1st in a 3-game set in a game you have to win. So let's just cool the jets a little bit. I'll tell you another one, though. That last out last night, when that ball came off that kid's bat, I thought it was gone.
Yeah.
I swear to you, I was sitting here. I'm sitting right in this very seat because we were doing well, so I didn't fucking move. I just stayed here. And that ball came off his bat, and I'm like, and then Judge just kind of you could see Judge start to settle down. I'm like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Look, and I'll say this now because I've got about 25 minutes before my cardiac arrest sets back in. Saturday night with Penn State, Sunday afternoon with the Birds, and now 2 games with this series. Guys, I'm 46 years old, so I don't know if I need to have like some buffering on the ready to kind of settle things down a little bit. But
have you started smoking again this week?
Well, I really only chief when I'm drinking. And during the week I don't drink at all. So, I try to just, mitigate and stay calm, but it's been impossible. Like I'm exhausted all the time from doing nothing but watching sports.
I get
And it's pretty
Tuesday.
sad.
That was an exciting game too. Your old buddy Choppy tried to give that one away, so that could have been it could be over by now. He almost gave him a chance. I do want to mention one thing about that. We were talking about the rules and stuff. How about that throw over to first base on the third one? The runner advances. They got to get rid of that rule in the post.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't disagree with you, but Chapman's got to know better. You can't throw that over there, dude. That's just an asinine play by a guy who gets into his own head a lot.
Yeah,
in big pressure, in big leverage spots, he does.
No doubt.
He's great during the regular season, but he is prone to giving it up in the playoffs. And I'm not just talking about trash cans and buzzers here either. He has had his struggles in big moments like that, and it almost happened again.
No doubt.
The fact that we loaded the bases and didn't get it, and with nobody out and got nothing, like you deserve to lose that ball game.
The guy didn't give up a hit for like 2.5 months. And then he gives up 3 consecutive hits.
Well, and that one that single that Judge hit, if that ball is about 6 inches higher, he doesn't get that ball back and we walk off. Like that was the Judge absolutely, or he would have tied it.
Would have tied it.
Judge,
yeah.
He absolutely that pitch got fucking crushed. It just happened to be low in the zone. If that pitch is up even maybe a little bit, maybe 6 inches, 8 inches higher, that thing is a rocket over the wall.
Agreed.
I don't know. You can kind of tell with Chapman if he comes out firing and he's only popping about 96 on the gun. This was the same thing that I would see when he was our closer. If he was coming out right away and he was just getting loose at like 98, 99, and after about the third pitch, he's at 100, 101, you felt pretty good. Like he's got his A game. But if he's coming out and all of a sudden it's 95, 96, to get it up near 100, everything's up, he's susceptible to damage. We just didn't capitalize on it. And like I said, if you load him with nobody out and you get nothing, you don't deserve to win anything either.
I mean, Eduardo Perez was saying it, and him and Cone, they were saying that, like, with Chapman coming into the 8th, then he had to sit there and he kind of cooled back down. So when he came back in, he was hitting 95, 96 with his fastball, and that made him hittable. But as he got warmed up and he got past those 3 and then he went up against Stanton, it was like, shit, I need to go. I need to ratchet this back up over 100. And he was lathered up at that point in time. And I'll say another thing that annoys me about this broadcast. Eduardo Perez needs to stop it with like whenever a Spanish guy does something good and then he starts speaking in Spanish, it's like I mean, I don't want to. It's just like, dude, nobody understands what the hell you were saying.
Like, right. That's like, calm down, Slowpoke Jones. Like, we're good here.
Hey, Spanish guy here, and I'm with you.
Yeah. If people want the Latin broadcast, they'll hit the SAP button on their friggin' remotes. Like, yeah. And I love Spanish people. I love Spanish women. You know, like they were the best. But
Mitchell, we're sorry.
Nah, she's not listening. She gets enough of me anyway. But for the love of God, man, like no one's signing up for ESPN to sit there. It's like, all right, Carl Ravitch, David Cohn, and then him. It's like,
well, and Cohn half the time. Cohn half the time, it's like they just feed him the analytics stuff. You ever hear like half of his commentary is exit velocity, launch angle.
That's Gronk on Fox.
It's a little much for me, dude. Like, and Cody's an old school guy, so it's a little odd, you know.
Yeah, it's like Gronk on Fox pregame. You know, like the dude just sounds like they're just talking into his ear and he's talking out loud. But he wasn't on it the other day. I think they're finally getting the point. Like, he's a small dose guy. Give him a 3-minute segment every single week, and that's it. Like, he looks so uncomfortable.
He does. He looks all stuffy and shit. Like, you know what he'd be perfect in? You remember the role that Tony Siragusa used to have on the sidelines?
Yes.
That's the Gronk role.
Yes.
Right? That's it. Let him grab a ball. Let him Gronk spike out there and just be a lunatic like he is, right?
Yes.
That's the role for him.
Yeah.
This shit where it's all stuffed up in the studio?
Nah.
Bro, that's not Gronk.
He does not look comfortable with Strahan and the boys. Like, Jimmy Johnson felt like that was a good flow. They need to get somebody else in that seat next to Strahan. I don't even think they need anybody else. Strahan, Howie Long, and TB are so good with Kurt Menefee. They don't need anybody else.
I'll go on record now. Howie Long still scares me, like as a human being.
Why do you think he's a serial killer? Just by his?
I don't know. He kind of looks like it sometimes, dude. Like he still has that look on his face, like he could just instantly snap and rip your entire head right off.
Yeah,
and he's like, so it's odd. Michael Scott in the room, Chris. He says, "Are you guys a fan of the 3-game series? I feel like 3 is too short, 7 is too long. Make all series 5 games across the board."
Oh my God, no, he's not the man.
Is
okay. No, if you want, listen. So you want the ALC? All right. If you had to have it the way it is right now, or the way Mike is saying, and having them all 5. So you want the LCS and the World Series to be 5?
No, sorry.
I don't. I do not.
That part. But this wild card round should most definitely be 5.
I mean, how long do you want to play baseball for, man? How far into the year do you want to go? That's where it becomes the issue. You're going to end up into November, and sorry to say this, Mr. 305, but a lot of your good teams are Northeast, right? You got the Yankees, you got the Phillies, even the Cubs up in Chicago, shit like that.
Red Sox.
Outdoor Red Sox, outdoor cold weather. Dude, November comes around, it becomes very difficult to play a baseball game in that weather.
It's still cold in March. It could still be snowing in March, some of those places. So you can't.
And I totally agree with you. I think they start too early. I do. I think they start way too early.
So what I'm saying, look, make it work. Go to 154 games. Sprinkle in some double headers. I think you need to have 5-game series. Anything can happen in a 3-game series. I don't think it's fair that you're having a lot of these great venues like Fenway, like Petco Park, not get baseball. And again, for the fan bases. They deserve to at least see 1 game. You play 81 home games, you make it to the playoffs, and you can't see 1 game. I mean, when it was the all or nothing 1-game wild card, I get it. But if it's a series, you should be able to have a game at home. I'm going to stand by that. I'm going to stand on that hill till it's done. It should be a 5-game series.
The only way that went in on that last night on his on their show last night too.
The only way that it makes sense is if you take away the buys for the 2 teams. They're already sitting long enough. I mean, like the Phillies, like all top seeds are already sitting 5 days.
Yep, and so I think that's too much.
Right, but if you sit longer, it's even more of a stretch. It's just.
Yep. But we see this happening around in the LCS as well. When it's a sweep or a 5-game series, if the other series goes 6 or 7, that team's sitting for a week. And they always postpone the start of the World Series it's a Saturday and Sunday game 1 and 2. So you rest for a week at times as well. So an extra 2-3 days, I don't think it much matters. At least give them one game. My suggestion is start every game Tuesday afternoon. And yes, I know TV's factor, TV market factor and all that rating stuff. But look, start every game at 1 or 3 that Tuesday. And then that's it. One game on the opposing team park, and then go the last 4, play it the next day. If you do an afternoon game, you could, even if it's cross country, you could start that next game too, West Coast time, in time to get those extra 4 games in without a day off.
Well, that's where you brought up the TV thing, and that's where I get annoyed with tonight. Like, you brought up a good point before about, it's after it's 12:30 or whatever when they decide to change the start times of today. Like, look, I was perfectly happy with 6 o'clock starts, dude. That's awesome. I will tell you, anybody up in my area, and Chris, you back this up too. 8 o'clock is. I don't know why they always assume prime time is 8 p.m. Okay, that's too late. And now what baseball that still doesn't freaking reckon. You had a chance to still have Yankees Red Sox as pretty much a standalone thing. Maybe it overlaps with this game that's going on right now, but pretty much a standalone thing for an hour and change without football. Instead, you moved your start time to 8 p.m. You are going to run concurrent with the football game, and you'll lose that ratings battle. I don't care if it's Carolina versus Jacksonville. The NFL wins. It just always does. I'm not saying I like it, and obviously up in the Northeast corridor, it's going to be all that, but that's not the whole country, right? The rest of the country pretty much hates both of us. So, most people are just going to turn the football game on, right? You lost the entire West Coast because you got San Francisco versus Los Angeles. So, nobody's watching the baseball game. You might look at it on your phone. Oh, look, it's 1-1 in the third inning. But they had an opportunity to have their marquee matchup on its own, and they didn't do it, right? They moved it 2 hours out to 8 p.m. to run side by side with Thursday Night Football. I thought that was an absolute miss and a lot of stupidity.
Yeah, I've said this for years about how they do things and they cater to the West Coast. I mean, listen, 8 p.m. is prime time for us. But they try to capitalize on the fact that the West Coast people are getting home at 5 o'clock and they're just getting home from work. They're just eating they're sitting down for dinner. They're going to watch the game. Like, if you start it at 7 o'clock our time, they're 4 o'clock. They're sitting in traffic. They're on the way home. They're picking their kids up. They're going to practice for their kids, whatever it is. They want as many eyeballs on these things as possible. However, it doesn't make sense for tonight. Like, I'm ecstatic. Like, either way, like, the Phillies on Saturday are going to be 6 or 6:30. Awesome.
Yep. Yeah, you're sitting pretty.
Apparently, the TBS time slots for Monday are 6 and 9:30. Newsflash: Milwaukee plays in the Central Time Zone. They can start at 8:30. We're 6 o'clock on Monday, which means I'm leaving work at 1:40, and I'll be in the lot by 2, and I will have beers and surf sides and cigars, and we'll be ready to roll, baby. But I just look at it from the context. Like I've said for years, like, if you wind up having a World Series and it's 2 Eastern teams, start the game at 7.
7.
Start the game at 7. I mean,
7's the sweet spot.
I mean, shit. Like, the game's going to be done at 11:30 midnight anyway. Like, at least give my boys somewhat of a shot to watch a few innings with their dad before they go to bed on a school night. Like, that's kind of the way I am. Like, what? Nobody gives a crap if it's Dodgers Yankees again. Okay, you understand it, but if it's Phillies and it's Toronto, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
Tonight's game should have been 7 o'clock. Or leave it at 6. Don't even touch it. Right? Just leave it where it was. I mean, at that point, you get 2 hours of Yankees Red Sox before football even kicks off. And that, if I was baseball, that would be the way I look at it. Unfortunately, football, if you don't react to what football's doing, you're not paying attention. They are the king. It's not close. It's not. The three of us and a bunch of other people want it to be, and it's not. And it may never be. Football is far and away the king. And you got a pretty decent matchup tonight. Well, San Francisco's the Walking Dead over there, but
or walking without socks.
It just, I don't know. It was frustrating to wake up and see. So I wake up, I see that the Reds got clobbered again. I'm like, great. So I go and I'm like, it's Shitler tonight, right? And I click on it just to make sure, and it says 8:05. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Why is it not 7:00? I know it's
20 minutes. To your point, if they would have kept it at, 7 is one thing, but if they would have kept it at 6, now you're talking about that game being in the 7th or 8th inning, and you at that point, yes, you want to watch the football game, but if you're invested in a 3-3 ball game, you're probably going to stick it out and see who wins that game before switching over to football. But
because you've got time for the football game. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. But an inning and a half is what you're going to get, maybe, and then it's like, all right, I'll come back to this game if anything, but I'm going to watch football for now. They blew it.
Yep. They did. I thought it was a huge miss. With the biggest rivalry in their sport. You can talk Dodgers, Giants. I get that too. But I mean, let's be honest. Yankees Red Sox is the matchup that baseball wants on it. Out in front of everyone on a regular basis.
Is it me that but I feel like growing up, I hated Gary Bettman. Okay, I hated Bettman because I lost a whole year of hockey in my life, and then I almost lost. What did we have, a 50-game season in 2013 because they had another lockout. And we were in danger of losing another season. So growing up, I hated Gary Bettman. But I'll say this: Bettman's the best commissioner out of all the sports. He's right at the ship as far as the salary cap is concerned in the NHL. Small markets have a shot to win consistently in the NHL. Players get paid in the NHL. The owners get paid. The owners make money in the NHL. Nobody else follows this whole entire thing that they do. Obviously NFL's king, but even Goodell screws up so much shit. No one knows what the hell a catch is. And this is the NFL where all it is the forward pass anymore. That's what people want. Baseball, Manfred is such a friggin' moron. I mean,
it's so
I feel like he's drunk every single time he opens up his mouth. He just appears whenever he's in public and he's giving an award to somebody, he sounds like he's trashed. And I understand if my drunk ass is like Kevin Hart at the Super Bowl in 2018, and I'm trying to get on the stage to get Bryce Harper his first World Series trophy. I understand. You want to why? Because I'll be trashed. But right. I don't understand that with the commissioner of the league sounding like he's rocked off his ass.
Yeah, I agree with you, dude. I think baseball overall has done a pretty good job over the last few years of, with the events, with the Field of Dreams game, with the Rickwood Field. They tried to do the thing at the Speedway this year. The
London series,
that up. The London series, all that. So I do not like opening the season overseas. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's an American sport. Fuck off with that. You want to go over to Japan or whatever? Fine. Do that after opening day, the actual opening day. Right? Then go over there and do that stuff. Don't do that to start the year. But overall, the All-Star game this year in particular was fantastic. Right? I think they've done a good job with that. The pitch clock, as much as I think the three of us talked about it, where it's like, Jesus Christ, are you serious with this? Look, had they just enforced the rules that were already there, the pitch clock is not necessary. Right? The rule is already there. Get your ass in the box. You get your ass on the mound. Let's go. They weren't enforcing that. So the pitch clock became necessary. But it worked, right? Games, regular season-wise, are taking 2.5 hours. It's a much more absorbable product for people younger than us. You and the three of us will sit there and watch a baseball game that takes 8 hours. It doesn't fucking matter to us. But they know that. They've got us. They need that younger generation, and they're not going to get it without speeding it up. That's what that did. They've done a good job. But then here comes on the other side of that, like you're saying, Chris, is this idiot with the radical realignment. We talked earlier about capacity at the Jake. You can't sell out playoff games at that field in a 3-game set against a division rival. How the hell are you looking at expansion rather than relocation? I don't on one hand, they do great. And on the other hand, it's are you that hammered? To your point.
I agree. Listen, I talked about it earlier. the Chapman. I know it's Chapman being Chapman, but man, that rule should not stand in postseason baseball. I'm sorry. At this point, it's the postseason. I don't want to worry about timing. It's a competitive imbalance and an advantage for the runner when he knows that you can't throw over a third time to get an extra lead. So that's messed up. And then I hate to say it, even with the pitch clock, it's bound to happen. You are going to have a postseason game end on a pitch clock violation or a guy who's not in the box in time, and people are going to lose their shit.
People will lose their shit.
Yes.
Great.
Well, so then what you'll have is the overreaction the other way, right? Until it happens, nobody's going to really complain. But it's unfortunately, it's going to have to happen for anything to change.
It needs I don't understand it.
I don't want it to, and I wish
Yeah.
they would change it now. But I think it's going to have to be that way before they actually do anything about it.
Like someone's not going to make eye contact with the other one. Lou's right. I said this on Sunday night. Like you need to get rid of it in the postseason. It's not needed. Like if anything, like you need additional drama.
Yeah.
You need a guy stepping out of the box and sitting there. Like I don't need no more Garcia Parra. I don't need that shit. But really, to me, like the biggest barometer that used to piss me the hell off, like throwing over. Like I love the reactions. I love the crowds booing people for throwing over. I love that. I think it engages the crowd. It can kind of change momentum to a degree. The mound visits. They did the right thing with the mound visits. I'm completely fine with the mound visits because Jorge Posada in the 2009 World Series fucking went out every other pitch. And it was bullshit. It was like, I swear to God, him and Pettit and him and Pettit were like playing grab ass on the mound every other pitch. And then like him and Burnett, I felt like they were going to fight every other pitch. It's like, my God, Posada, get your ass back behind the plate and shut the hell up. It was just that to me was the biggest thing that stuck in my craw all those years. But
so here's Michael Scott again. Won't have baseball once his contract is over. Definitely going to be a lockout. We mentioned this on last show where it was kind of let's enjoy this postseason all of next year as well and be ready for December 2nd, 2026, when, yes, the likelihood is there for the lockout as they try to push the cap and floor or just floor or whatever way you want to look at it. Yeah, I agree that there, when you talk about something that serious, Chris, we brought it up, the three of us brought it up, like I said, last show, where Manfred was making his little visit to the Phillies locker room and Bryce Harper let him have it upon arrival. If you're here to talk cap, get the fuck out. So, I mean, it just that right there. That's one clubhouse, one guy. So imagine across the league.
Yeah.
I feel like some of the, your middle of the road players to maybe the bottom of the roster players probably aren't going to have as big of an issue with it. It's going to be guys like Harper and Ohtani and stuff like that. Maybe a hard cap isn't going to be there, but I'll tell you one thing that does have to change. You got to stop letting these teams kick the can and defer all this money.
yes,
That Ohtani contract is out of control.
yes.
That should never happen.
Like
ever.
Dodgers contracts in general. And what
I know
Washington's doing.
We all like to laugh at Bobby Bonilla Day. But the bottom line is it's not just Bonilla. There's other guys out there making it just as much or more. Griffey's one of them.
Max Scherzer.
They need to stop this. That huge contract that Ohtani got, and they kicked like the whole thing until after he retires. It's like this should not be a thing. What you sign him for, that's his AAV. That's what hits your cap every year, and that's it.
I think we've expunged on this many times. Okay, the floor is the issue, and I think if you force these teams instead of pocketing the money that they get from from the luxury tax, you make them spend it, and also at the same time, a team like the Miami Marlins, if the floor is $100 million and you have a superstar prospect that comes up and earns it in the first year or two, and you want to give them a 12-year contract for $30 million a year, you know what? You can do that because you need to spend that money, and you're going to spend it to keep the guys there in-house. That's the part, if I was a Miami fan, that would piss me off because I would sit there and see guys like Miguel Cabrera and Christian Yelich and Giancarlo Stanton and Marcelo Ozuna. Like, and listen, signing like a guy like a Jose Reyes, which you did the thing, you signed him, but you had no intentions to keep him there.
No.
He was just a 2-year attraction, traded away. Albert Pujols, you made the second best offer on him outside of the Angels. Now, how long would he have stayed there in Miami? Had that? Well, I would have been 2 years when they weren't making the money. No one's coming to the stadium, and then they would have traded his contract away too. Like a Josh Johnson, you could have gave him the money because he deserved it. A Jose Fernandez because he deserved it, and you could watch them grow in your organization outside of, oh, it's year 5. We got 2 years left of team control. Let's trade them away for prospects now and just hit the reset button. That to me is the bullshit that happens in places like Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Miami, Cleveland, like where these guys go there and they're homegrown talents and they wind up just being quadruple A fodder for R2 teams and the Cubs,
the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Braves, the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's just it's a joke. Like that would make me sick. That would piss me off if I was a fan of one of those teams.
So the Padres are on the board here. Solo homer, Jackson Merrill. It's 3-1, nobody out, top of the 9th. 3-1 count on Bogarts now. Cubs bullpen getting loose real fast here.
Yeah.
Keenan Harmon's got a question.
Why didn't they have somebody there to begin with?
Keenan says Phillies playoff tickets cost as much as Eagles tickets, but in LA they can be had for a little over $100. Please explain.
55,000 seats in LA.
It's LA. These things are not. It's not the passion that you find in Philadelphia, New York, Boston, all that shit. These things are like kind of, like going to a concert type of thing. That's how LA treats this shit. Not as much as they treat their football teams, right? SoFi can be taken over by the Jacksonville Jaguars if they really wanted to. But by and large, unless it's a Lakers game, I'd say it's a Lakers town first, then probably Dodgers behind that. But it's treated much more like a concert event type of thing than it is an actual ball game that you're passionate about.
Yeah, I mean, it's plus at the same time they have 10,000 more seats to try and sell in that stadium. There was 55,000 seats there, 45,000 seats here. Also, at the same time, if you think about it, the Dodgers have been on this run for 12, 13 years now, where they're annual contenders, and we saw it with the Braves all those years where
it burns out.
Yeah, like the Fulton County Stadium was packed all the time. Everybody was going to Fulton County Stadium. Then they got to Turner Field, and then they're giving out tickets for Halloween for a World Series game. Like the Braves wouldn't sell out a World Series game or they wouldn't sell out a game all season until the World Series. Yep. So eventually, at some point along the line, that magic pixie dust kind of runs out as far as having a high cost dollar of it. The Phillies right now are a hot commodity. People want to be down there. Red October is the thing. Nobody wants to be anywhere else but the bank in October. It's just how it is. It's the party. It's the party. Just like that 5-year stretch with the Phillies when they were selling out in 9, 10, 11, and into 12. Like there was nowhere else in the world that people in Philadelphia would rather be.
Lou?
Yeah, no. Look, there's still, I would say the Cubs and Red Sox, are the only ones that you're going to see completely sold out regardless of record. Look, Yankee Stadium had a lot of empty seats when they went through in the 80s, before Mattingly came along.
The wings of those, even with Mattingly, the wings of those upper decks are empty.
It happens, and obviously down here, unfortunately, this is a show me what you got town. When they win, they come out in droves. When they don't, they're not out there. So, but yeah, it all depends on, at the end of the day, the big factor is winning. Put a competitive team out there and win. Now, if you win too much, as Chris just mentioned, you go through winner's fatigue there where it's tough to spend all that money on a ticket consistently. Unless you're the Chicago Bulls where you're, Michael Jordan's on there, you don't want to miss something like that. But
right.
It gets tough to spend these tickets. Like I'm a season ticket holder. We got season tickets for 3 of our teams down here: the Dolphins, the Marlins, and the Heat. Man, the only way you can sustain going on these playoff runs is to sell 4 or 5 of your playoff games. Otherwise, you've got to have Jeff Bezos' money.
I mean, the only way I was able to go to as many games as I did is because I would just bring different people with me on my season tickets. So like all year long, I would, hey, Scott, come with me. Hey, Justin, I would bring whoever. So when they would get tickets, they would bring me. Exactly. And so it just so I had a 26-game pickup plan in the right field bleachers at Old Yankee Stadium. and I would bring random people, and then they would bring me. I was going to probably 40, 45 games every year for a good 3-4 year run during the regular season. And then I'd be at a few of the playoff games too. So, I mean, it was, but you're right. That was if I had like a full on plan, I'd have to sell some of them just to be able to keep that thing afloat. Yeah.
And another thing, so a team like Miami, for example, the way to, this is more of incentive to win, because if you do get into the playoffs and that playoff strip comes along, the only way that you could get it is by getting season tickets for the following year. And then, you a whole bunch of people that'll lock into season tickets because they know that's the only way where they can afford playoff tickets. So again, even more of incentive for these small market teams or don't want to spend money to put a competitive team out there on the field and get, fans on board.
Oh yeah, trust me, my credit card's taking a beating right now with postseason tickets. And listen, it's that time of year now. Like, dude, you got over $2,000 worth of postseason tickets. Now listen, I have 4 seats per game outside of the 2 that I just added, so I got 4 seats. Now, if I bring my wife and I bring a couple buddies, I get money back for half of those, right? So it's like, I'm going to get like $1,000 back if that's how it goes. And you just take the money and you put, if the Phillies don't get into those games, then that money just goes towards my season tickets for next year. And then I don't have to worry about the $500 that's going to hit my account every month until January. So, but at the end of the day, I want them to get to the World Series. I don't give a shit about anything else. So
yeah,
I'll bite the bullet. I'll figure it all out later on. That's what you get bonus checks at work for.
You're right. Don't forget your little tax credits.
Oh well, listen. That's why February is fantastic, because I get my fourth quarter bonus with my annual bonuses and my tax return. So whatever I'm spending right now, I get a bonus in November. That's great. That's for the holidays and whatnot. We pay off certain bills and whatnot. But February is where it's just start fresh. Unless Quimby invites me, unless I'm going to the Super Bowl again.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's not happening this year. I'm gonna say no.
Of course you are.
Here,
I have to say no. I have to. I can't.
What was that, Luke?
you got an update this from Chicago here?
Yeah, I see it's first and second.
3-1 Chicago still, but you got Padres first and second, 1 out.
Cronenworth.
And they just brought, who was that? Chicago just brought Kittredge in, and Cronenworth coming to the dish for the Padres. So it's getting interesting here. And then I've got the bigger screen. I don't have my huge screen on because it's kind of right over here, and I'd be all leaned out here watching the shit. So I have the 2 on the tower that are kind of right out in front of me over here.
They're starting a Yankee game starting on ESPN. Yankees.
Yeah, ESPN. They got it on ESPN too.
Right.
Yep, I've got that on the bigger of the 2 screens that are on the tower. No volume right now, or I'd be, they would be fucking obnoxious in here, and it's going to get obnoxious here in a couple minutes anyway. So.
Well, we don't have to do this too much longer, too. I got to put Carson to bed coming up. So, and then you probably want to have your own shouting match.
Oh my God. I don't know how my wife deals with me this time of year. Yeah. Like I said, every Sunday, so you know how the Birds are playing. So every Sunday is just an afternoon full of cardiac arrest with this team. It just is. I don't think this weekend's going to be any different. I think it's going to be very much the same thing with that Denver defense. And the way our offense looks right now.
AJ Brown just needs to keep his friggin' mouth
shut. Stay off of Twitter.
It's annoying the crap out of you. Do not challenge Seth Joyner. Don't do it.
Seth will still beat your ass.
He would.
I know AJ's a big kid, but Seth, has anybody seen Seth up close lately?
He's a monster.
Seth is still a monster. I saw him up close at the Hall of Fame enshrinement. We went up and talked to him and Clyde Simmons. And Seth is still just huge.
Close playing this right now at the first base. I actually think he was safe. They called him out. But this is
here's
big
the play.
But the difference between 2 outs.
Oh!
He is.
Is he safe?
No, he's out. He is out.
Lose a couple seconds ahead of me here.
I have it on
I'm
here
about
that
to get the
he's
replay.
out. So
He's
it's
out.
two.
He got second and third and 2 outs now.
Are they pinch hitting for Furman, or is Furman going to get the bat?
I'm a little behind, so I don't.
Well, I'm looking at the lineup here.
Yeah, he is out. He's out by a step. Yeah. Look closer.
Oh man, is that close? Woo! Oh Lord! That Keenan says, read a book, AJ, and be ready to catch the ball. Yeah, and he's right. We can, AJ can use a little bit more inner excellence could be used there. But at the same time, this pass game has to get under control too. Like I talked about it a bunch last night. We've got to get consistency in the pass game so we can get Saquon loose.
Yes,
He's getting bottled. He's facing a stacked box at a higher rate this year than at any other point in his career, including when he shared a backfield with Blues Clues. So, it's a little crazy considering the offensive talent that they are showing no respect to our pass game at all.
Ball game.
Yeah, that's it. The Cubs move on.
So it's going to be the Cubbies.
And that's going to be
Cubbies in Milwaukee.
Yep, that's a nice rivalry there.
That should be fun.
The Craig Counsell Bowl.
That's right.
Let's see what Milwaukee looks like after that break. I feel like they could have used it. To be honest.
Only other time you could say the Craig Counsell Bowl is if the Marlins and the Diamondbacks play each other.
Game 7.
Which, by the way, fuck both those teams.
All right.
It's funny that a Yankees fan would say "fuck anybody," because the rest of it, it's funny because Carson comes in.
We say fuck everybody because you all say fuck us. That's just the way it goes.
Listen, no shit on you, my brother. But Carson comes up to me the other night and he's like, Boston and New York. He's like, who are we rooting for? I was like, we never root for the Yankees. We never root for the Yankees. I was like, buddy, they have 27 and we have 2. I was like, that's all I gotta say. I was like, they've won enough. And it hurts me to say that when they're playing the Red Sox because really they won 4 over the last two decades. They can go fuck themselves too.
Boston,
Boston in general, the whole city,
the whole city. I am not.
City.
No, look, the city itself, going to Boston, great time.
Great time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But everything they stand for as far as sports, and I'm talking obviously the Red Sox, fuck the Patriots, the Celtics, the Bruins. Harvard can go eat a dick. I don't like UMass, like MIT, if they have some sort of nerd Olympics or whatever. No, I'm out on all of you. Just keep serving up the chowder, all right? And shut your mouth.
Samuel Adams, good beer.
Yeah, right. Mitch. So Cubs and Brewers, Phillies and Dodgers, and Indians and Mariners. What do we think? What are we thinking here, guys?
You say Indians, Mariners, Tigers, Mariners.
Or I'm sorry, Tigers, Mariners. Yeah, I had my pick in my head, not who actually won.
I think Seattle's gonna win their series in 4. I'll give the Tigers 1 game of Comerica. I'll say they win game 3.
The Terrence Struble game.
Yeah, I think that's the game right there for them. Well, he not pitch. He's not going to be ready for Sunday.
Game 2. That's right. Is it?
He'll pitch 2.
So yeah, he will. He'll pitch game 2. Right?
So I'll pitch
Wednesday,
2.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah,
right.
He'll pitch game 2.
All right, maybe I'll go with that. But I'm going to say Seattle in 4. I'm going to say the Phillies in 5. And I think the Cubs are going to upset Milwaukee. I think the Cubs are going to go in there. I've got the Cubs ending that series in 4 in Chicago. It's going to be Phillies and Cubs, and then I think no matter who comes out of the other end, I think it's going to be Seattle. Obviously Seattle in the ALCS, and we'll see. I think the Yankees have a better shot of beating Toronto than the Red Sox. The Red Sox have no starting pitching, at all
Yeah.
whatsoever. Like they can win this series because it's a short series. I just don't see them getting anywhere past because they have nothing. Like they pulled Bayo last night after 28 pitches. It shows how very little trust, and they got a rookie starting tonight. I mean, they've got nothing outside of that.
Well, hey, it's not like we're doing anything different here with Schittler on the mound. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, but you at least have two guys at the top of your rotation.
This is
with
very
Freedom Rodon. I mean, like you at least have trust there to where you can leave Rodon in to start the seventh to throw 8 friggin' balls in a row.
I mean, they were combined 36 and 14 on the year. Yeah, I've got a level of trust in those two.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. The Sox don't have that. I think the Yankees they're going to give a better fight against the Blue Jays. That'll be a hell of a series. That series would go 5. I think if the Red Sox get through, I think that's a sweep. Toronto's going to
sweep. You think they get swept?
Yes.
They're
on fumes, dude. They got nothing in that bullpen either.
I keep talking about it too. It's like, where is this Yankees team if Garrett Cole never gets hurt? Right now, Fried is your 2, Rodon is your 3, and Garrett Cole is at the top of your rotation. And good luck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I will take those 3 if I have those 3. Especially if it's a 3-game series. I mean, like, God, dude, if I could came into this series, then I've got Cole versus that freaking Crochet the other night, I would have liked my chance a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I thought Fried delivered, but he was definitely fading as the game went on while Crochet was just getting stronger. That guy is a freaking maniac. I mean, he is as advertised ace, easily. But if I've got Cole, Fried, and Rodon's my 3.
You will next year.
That's a very deep rotation.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work out that way. But yeah, a lot of trust at the top of the rotation. I don't know. Toronto can be a little Jekyll and Hyde too.
Very Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, I feel like they could come out and squash either of these teams, but I also feel like they could come out and lay an egg just as easily. And get the shit knocked out of them.
It's 5. The series goes 5 if it's Jays Yanks because you guys have those 2 starting pitchers.
The 2 starters, yeah.
But if the Sox, like Cora's already ran through his bullpen, he's going to do it again tonight. This kid's not lasting long. They're hopeful. They are hoping he gives them 3 innings, and then they're going to have to go back to the bullpen and you're going to have to turn around and you win this game tonight. You're going to have to play on Saturday.
And the problem is, I don't know that we're expecting much more than that out of Schittler here either. You know what I mean? I don't.
Your bullpen's more rested than the Red Sox bullpen is, though.
Yeah, they got abused last night. Like I mean, he was running a guy out there. It felt like every 4 or 5 fucking pitches. For crying out loud. That game took over 3 hours on and you got a pitch clock going on. That was a little much.
Lou, what you thinking? What do you got?
Yeah, what do you got, Lou?
The winner of this game tonight, I think, beats Toronto. I'm going to tell you, look, Toronto, no Bichette. He's likely not to be playing in this series coming up. And then their starters aren't that great either. Kevin Gausman could go 9 innings or he could give 9 runs. Max Scherzer, he could get injured 90 minutes before the game. And Shane Bieber, we got him. He's only
Jose Barrios, baby.
He's only had 7 starts this year. So down the stretch, Toronto looked really bad. They tried to get the division up to the Yankees. They stumbled down. They had a 20-1 loss, I think. We were actually there while people were on pins and needles, hoping that they could get into the playoffs, get into the wild card round, much less win their division, which they ended up doing, and getting the number 1 overall seed. But the last month was not kind to the Blue. Oh, geez. Yeah, I saw what you saw. Sorry. Yeah, so I think that Toronto isn't really – and I got the winner of the game tonight, beating the Blue Jays in 4 games.
How about the other side? The other side of the American League.
Oh, Seattle. I had a stat here I pulled up. Skubal actually in his 2 starts against the Mariners, 0-2, 7 runs in 10 innings.
Holy shit.
Not look good at all in his 2 starts against the Mariners. And the Mariners are red hot, man. You got J-Rod, you got obviously Kyle Rowley in his historic season. They're you talk about starting pitchers. And if they get Boo back, they're really set up nicely. Their closers look good and hasn't blown a save. I think one blown save in the last 2.5 months.
Talk about Munoz.
Yeah, Munoz. Andres Munoz was only given one blown save the last 2.5 months of this year. So I think Seattle's set up, and I like them actually getting to the World Series.
Yeah, I think that's it. How about the National League, buddy?
National League, I am not with Chris either on this. I think Milwaukee, look, they've been the best team in baseball, and they've been doing it with smoke and mirrors. They don't have a 30 home run hitter, but they play good
Death by
defense.
1,000 paper cuts.
They get the ball over. They're quick. They play good defense. Freddie Peralta, a nice ace, nice workhorse. Getting Brandon Woodruff, even though he hasn't been himself and is injured, as is Quintana. There's still, pitchers that have experience. And if they've had a little rest here, if one of those two guys can come back healthy for this round, I like the Brewers to come out and beat the Cubs.
And
Phil's Dodgers.
And
if it was a 7-game series, I'd like the Dodgers. You could see all their pitchers go 2 games. The fact that it's 5, the fact that it's Ohtani pitching, who's only had 2, he's only on record for 2 games this year, 1-1, no experience. His only real postseason experience pitching came in the WBC because he didn't get into any games pitching with the Angels. The fact that he's going to likely to throw game 1 and possibly game 4, if they use a win game 1, which I don't think he will in Philly, that game 4 is, I think, to keep the season alive. And I don't know that he does it. So I'm going to pick the Phillies in 4 games.
A lot of people are saying about how the Phillies struggled against like these 3 starting pitchers a couple weeks ago when we were in LA. We really ate on their bullpen. I mean, I think that's what everybody's doing. That's what the Reds did. Those couple games that they had, like really you have to get to their starting pitcher early, or you got to make them throw enough pitches to where you get them out of the game by the 5th inning. And one thing I saw one of their beat writers put out there today, it made no sense that the fact that nobody in the Phillies had ever seen Ohtani before as a starting pitcher. Nobody. Yet the Dodgers threw him in the 3rd game of a series that we already won the first 2 games in. And the Phillies now have seen Ohtani. They've seen his repertoire. Now it's going to be a little bit different. The second, and now listen, he could do it again against us on Saturday night. He could do it again. But really, Dave Roberts probably should have kept that in his holster. Not allowing us to see what he has to offer before this. He had no reason to do it. So that could play in the Phillies' favor, having had seen him. And we'll see how Ohtani responds in an environment like the bank. If he gets a little rattled early on in that game, it could spiral a little bit out of hand for him. So we'll see how it goes. There's also only 2 ballparks that Ohtani has never hit a home run in. Citizen Bank Park, Great American Ballpark.
Oh. How do you not homer at Great American Ballpark? I think the 3 of us could get one out of that fucking stadium.
I think the bank probably too. But they do handle, and if anything, the Phillies are lining up 3 left-handed starters in this series, which, if anything, if you're going to nullify Ohtani, you're going to nullify Freeman.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want the lefties against that lineup for sure. I mean, Betts, I don't think it matters who's pitching. Betts, he gets to this time of year, he just knows what to do.
Dude,
right? You saw it against the Reds. He did not have a great regular season.
No.
But the calendar turns to October. The guy's a big money player, man. It's just he's always been that way. I hated him in Boston, but respected the shit out of him.
Yeah. He's a great dude too, man.
He's a great ball player.
What a great guy.
Yeah.
Hell of a bowler. Like the dude is he is an incredible athlete. Like there's nothing that guy could do.
Nothing he can't do.
Where he wouldn't be good at it.
So kick it over to me. I like the Phillies in 5. I like the home field advantage that place brings. Look, I understand Dodger Stadium and all that, but Philadelphia is just a different breed. I don't like that they have to face Ohtani game 1. I hate that. I hate that for the Phillies. And that's another reason why I'm pissed at the Reds for not getting that to the 3rd game, because I really would have rather they had to spend Ohtani. You guys know how I feel with the Phillies. I'm a Yankees fan, obviously, but I've got the soft spot there, right, because the Birds connection and all that. I pull for the Phils when it comes from the National League side. I just think overall, dude, and I think it's going to be time for, your Bryce Harpers of the world to elevate. right? It's this time of the year when those lights turn up bright. Those guys know how to handle it. I like the whole field.
Bryce Harper, I don't know where it was after like the last game of last season against the Mets. Bryce Harper's career OPS postseason is top 5 all time.
Yeah. So I expect that level of play out of him. I expect Schwarber to be, especially head to head with Ohtani. You're going to have a lot of MVP type of conversation going into that series, right? There's going to be all those whispers. I look, and you can give it to Ohtani just because he pitches or whatever. My vote would go to Schwarber because I think if you remove Ohtani, the Dodgers may still be a wild card team. If you remove Schwarber off of this year's Phillies team, I don't know what happens, right? Like off of this year's Phillies team, it's a little bit different. That would be where I would go. It's supposed to be most valuable, not best. I like the Phillies in 5.
Would you do the same thing with Raleigh and Judge? What's your stance on that?
I would vote for Cal Raleigh. My vote would go to Raleigh, dude. It just would. I mean, when you have a catcher, a switch hitting catcher hit 60 home runs, and they're the top dog in the league, I don't look, if the Yankees had won the number 1 seed by some 3-4 games over them, all right, maybe Judge, and Judge statistically is better overall.
I mean, that's what the Hank Aaron Award is. The Hank Aaron Award is for the best offensive player, right?
Thank you. Right? It's not about best player; it's most valuable, and I think that's Cal Raleigh on the American League side this year. I just do. I like the Brewers on the other side of that bracket in the National League. I just love the way they play ball, and when you get to this point, you just have to look and assume everyone's going to play to the best of their ability, right? Because you have no reason to think otherwise until the series starts. The Brewers come out there, they field 3 natural shortstops on their infield. They field 3 natural center fielders in their outfield. They don't have a big thumper, but it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's everything that we grew up loving about baseball. And so I have the soft spot for them. And I think you end up with Phillies and Brewers on the National League side. Not to mention, I don't know how many more pitchers they got to pull off the scrap heap and turn them into studs before somebody just starts looking at how they're coaching these pitchers and starts poaching their pitching, their coaching staff. American League side, I don't think it's a close series. I think the Mariners absolutely destroy Detroit. I think unless the layoff cools them off too much, I think the Mariners are just significantly better. And I want Cal Raleigh to continue to be on that stage, right? You're going to have the MVP or MVP type season. I want that to continue. I want to see it at every level, right? This game tonight, I agree with Chris, kind of tells the story of, I think, the next round. I think if the Yankees can get through Boston, because it's been a while since we've been able to do that in the postseason. I've had to eat that for a long time.
22 years.
Thank you. So, if you can get by them here, I think there's a boost, right? Aaron Judge is actually looking decent at the plate so far in this series, right? He's not hit the home run yet.
Stanton hasn't.
Stanton has looked terrible. I expect that ship to right itself at some point just based on his past. If we can get through this series, I think we get through Toronto, likely in 5, but I think we get through Toronto, and then it's Yankees Mariners. If Boston wins this series, Chris, I agree with you. I think Toronto is just better than them. The one thing I will say is, you guys remember the beginning of the year when we did this, I picked the Yankees to finish 3rd. And it was behind Boston, and I forget if it was Toronto or Baltimore or whoever I had above them. While that didn't play out in the standings, it played out head-to-head, whereas the Yankees lost the head-to-head series with Boston and Toronto for the year. So,
I don't think any of us liked the Orioles at the beginning of the year. I think we looked at the fact that Zach Eflin was their opening day starter, and that was enough for me.
Maybe it was Toronto. I was like, I don't know, but I just
I mean, Toronto is what, a top 5 or 6 payroll? I didn't even know that until I saw all the payrolls the other day. I'm like, holy shit, they do spend a lot of money.
They do. They spend, and
good for them. I mean, still for 93, but just.
I mean, they can go. They can eat shit just because they're in Toronto. They're in Canada, so whatever. But that would be the way I'd look at it. If the Yankees win this series, then it's Yankees Mariners on the American League side. On the National League side, I like the Phillies and the Brewers.
So do we want to give our World Series picks, or you want to hold off?
No, let's wait. Let's wait until I'm free the Sunday after the LCS should be over.
Okay.
And there's no Eagles because the Eagles play Thursday night football.
That's right. We play next Thursday night.
So the 12th.
The
Sunday
12th.
the 12th.
Lou, what is your schedule like? I know with the fish. What are you guys doing?
I think that's a home game against the Chargers. So yeah, it's a 1:00 game. So you want to do something that you're saying Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Sunday, the 12th, right?
That way we can preview the LCS.
The LCS, yeah, that works out. Yep.
We'll try and
that's the
jump
week
each
before.
round. We'll try and jump each round and be ahead of it.
I love
Yeah,
it.
and I promise this time there's no wedding that I have to worry about.
We also might have some managerial things going on because Bruce Bochy is out with Texas. Snicker stepped down in Atlanta. There's some good jobs out there. San Francisco fired Melvin. Some good jobs out there that probably are going to be filled over the next week or two, or week and a half by the time next time we go on air.
And you got to start talking about end of season awards too.
Yeah,
That's going to have to start becoming a conversation.
Yeah, I mean we could do that before the LCS because at that point we're only talking about what happened in the DS and we're previewing the LCS. We'll have plenty of time for that.
Yeah. All right, good. So the 12th, we'll figure out a time. Somewhere over the next week or so.
Kind of figured like what we had today, 7:00. That gives Lou enough
6,
time to
7
get
o'clock.
home. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, fellas.
Can I say
what? Yeah, shoot.
Lou.
one of the things we talking about this upcoming weekend, and I know Chris is going to be on the edge of his seat. He might not want to see this moment, but I would love to see Duran come out in either game 1 or 2 and have to go through that top of the order. Otani, Freeman. Oh man, that is must-see theater.
That is absolutely that. You turn a football game off for that shit.
I'm all about it. I hope we get that moment. I hope we get that moment. I know Chris will be a little bit overexcited and nervous about it, but
I'm nervous for sure, especially if it's one. If it's one run, yeah, absolutely. I'm shitting my pants.
Which game are you at, brother?
So I got game 2. So I'll be at game 2 with my buddy Kev. It came down to if it was a 4:00 game, I was thinking about taking Carson, and if it was 8:00, I was going to take Kev because I owe him. He's taking me to the last 2 Eagles-Dallas games where we were in the touchdown club eating and drinking for free, and I was 4 rows off 50-yard line, and then I was there for opening night, banner night, 12 rows off 50-yard line. Yeah, I was like, Kev, I owe you one, so I'm going to take him to the game, and then I'm hopeful, whether I legit, obviously, I want them to sweep the Dodgers and just march on to the LCS, but one of those games, either game 5 of the NLDS or I got home game 1 of the NLCS. I'm bringing my boy. I'm bringing my baby boy to his first playoff game. My dad did that for me when I was 7 years old back in 1993 for the NLCS, and I know he loves it as much as I love it. And it's a shame because Jacob's the older brother, but I know Jacob with noise, and he's a musician and he loves like video games and all stuff. That's his speed. And I'm cool with that. Carson wants to be there, and I want to experience that with my boy. So,
yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Had the Reds managed to get past the Dodgers, I entertained trying to get tickets down here just to go to a playoff game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going down there to root for anybody in particular. I'm just going down there it's a fucking playoff baseball game. It's a half an hour from my house. But it's the Reds versus the Dodgers. You talk about David versus Goliath. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right. So Sunday the 12th, we'll figure out a time, and that'll be the LCS preview. I am going to go lose my mind.
Enjoy yourself, brother.
Yeah, there'll be no enjoyment.
I know it's a weeknight, but it's okay to have a beer.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not because with this shit going on, I can't have just one.
What's Lou drinking? I saw Lou with a can. What do you got?
Here, man, Ultra. I got an Ultra here.
Okay. I think I'm going to go grab a Surfside out of the fridge. It's been a week.
You guys have 5 for me because there's no way. I would end up hammered, dude. Like that. Yeah, I got the paper bag over there. Like after that freaking fly ball to end last night's game. Oh my God. But so yeah. All right. So, you want to catch Chris? You can catch him this Sunday, right?
Yes, we're doing an internet show. First and foremost, because we're trying to make sure we avoid any technical issues. So at 8:00, me, Sean Brace, and Michael Shut Up Diaz are going to be doing an internet show at 8:00. We'll make sure we get all those things out there for you guys so you can hang out with us an hour before we go on air with the rest of the crazy cast, which includes Eagles Hall of Fame offensive tackle Trey Thomas and Quimby, which I spent about 45 minutes of my evening the other night talking to Quimby on the phone because he called me at like 9:15 at night.
Yeah, he's good for that.
Yeah, so I was on the phone with him for about 45 minutes. He knows now that my 40th birthday bash is going to be down there in Miami, and we're going to stay in Fort Lauderdale. So Quimby said that we are going to have a 40th birthday bash for me at the Parrot, Lou.
Yes, sir. That's the place to do it.
We're going to set it up to where we have everybody all there together at the Parrot. So Quimby's now got all these things going through his mind about like where he wants all of us to stay and how we're going to get there to stay. He's like, we got plenty of time to think about it. I'm like, I know. I'm just letting you know we're coming down.
All right, so that's where you can catch Chris this Sunday. Lou, how about you, bud? I love that show last night. The interview you had with that gentleman was excellent.
Yes, we're getting ready to go to Charlotte this weekend to catch the Dolphins at the Panthers. So we did a little preview show towards that. You can definitely check it out over at the SoFlo Sports Show.
Charlotte's cool, man. Charlotte's a good spot if you haven't been there yet.
And we're going in just Saturday, coming back Sunday night, so we're not there enough time. But
a lot of walking stuff though. Like right there in the city, like Saturday night, dude, you'll have a good time.
Yep, looking forward to it. So that's that, and then we are super excited. Tuesday we'll be at the Amerant Bank Arena to watch the two-time defending champion Panthers raise another banner. Chris, you just did this with the Eagles Thursday Night Football. So we'll be doing the same thing on Tuesday, and looking forward to that big time.
Dude, you guys are banged up, man. Barkov and Kachuk both out, and that's
rough, dude. That's
a tough go. Hey, playing late into June, man. It's a brutal sport, and the prognosis is that he could be back within 7 months. You saw us a couple of years ago with Stamkos and the Lightning. Missed the entire season, came back to the playoffs, and they ended up winning a cup. So hopefully we follow their lead because we're stacked regardless.
And well coached.
Yeah, very well coached.
Very well coached.
And a great goaltender. But hey, man, like the 3 straight years of long playoff runs, and Bob is now what, 36?
Yeah, it starts to take its toll.
Yeah, man, that's a lot when you have those 3 deep Junes like that, man. It's like you just got to hold off the cavalry until like once Kachuk comes back and you get that piece. But missing Barkov, you're missing the best 2-way forward in the whole league for most of the season. That's going to be a tough to replace.
Yeah, but listen,
for sure.
Conn Smythe winner Sam Bennett. We signed Ekblad and we signed Brad Marchand, which nobody saw coming. So we're set up nicely here. And look, if he does come back for the playoffs, even if we get it as a 7th base, no one's going to want to play the 2-time defending champ with
at full strength coming into that time of the year. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
Mm-mm.
Are you kidding me?
Just get it.
As for me, this was my 3rd show this week. I also had to type up some we'll call it prep bullet points for a particular individual last weekend who was going on air on Sunday. Will remain nameless while we're on here. But I had to do that Saturday night while I was drinking and watching Penn State lose again. So it's been a busy week. I got a busy week at work too. Big game again this Sunday. I think it's going to be another, afternoon full of cardiac arrests. That the Denver defense is pretty nasty. And our pass game still doesn't look good. But it's like I say all the time, greenlegion.com, always scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you're looking to get out on the road and you want to catch the birds, that's the way to do it. Greenlegion.com. Go to trips and tailgates. Click on away trips. Find the one you want to go on. If it does not say sold out, buy away.
Home tailgates
hang out with me? What's that?
Home tailgates
too. I always do the home tailgates afterwards. You want to come hang out with me on the road? I will be in Minneapolis, flying out there in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Be there for the weekend for that one. And then the weekend before Thanksgiving, Michelle and I will be in Dallas on that trip as well. Kelly Green on the road this year in Dallas. Should be a lot of fun. If you're in the Philadelphia area or you're visiting the Philadelphia area or you know someone in the Philadelphia area or visiting the Philadelphia area and they're looking for a home tailgate, again, greenlegion.com, trips and tailgates, home tailgates, find the one you want to go to. If it doesn't say sold out, buy away, and you can catch Chris Sack and the rest of the cast of characters at that tailgate every time for the Green Legion Fox Sports pregame show. Always a pleasure to listen to that and an honor to be able to do it on the road when I've been able to fill in there. So, guys, wish me luck. Wish my wife luck, I think is more and my kids, if they can sleep tonight. Nice hustle, kid. That Stanton hustle double? Where the hell you get them wheels? All right, guys. Chris,
Good luck,
gotta get out and put little man to bed. What's that?
Good luck.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother. You guys take care. We'll see you again on October 12th. We'll get a timeout to you guys at a later date. Until then, get on to your weekend. Don't do anything we wouldn't do. Remember, the judge ain't back until Monday. This has been Heart of the Order, folks. We'll see you next time. Take care.